Afternoon, everybody. We are live here for episode 4 of The Drop. I am Nick Reed.
I think it's 5.
It's episode 5.
Episode 5 of The Drop? Oh, episode 5 of
And we're going to stay with this name, and we're going to find something different.
We're going to stay with this
because we made this name in like 2 minutes on the first
the best
day.
name. That's some of the best ideas have been just stuff thrown up on the wall and see what sticks. This stuck. I like The Drop. Y'all got anybody else got any suggestions?
No, I'm just saying.
Doty?
We could look into it a little more.
Right now, I'm not a creative guy. I mean, if y'all have any ideas in the comments, y'all can drop them down. Let us know, and we can take a look for sure. I
am Nick Reed. We got the main man Morgan Smith on his computer right now. We got Zach Doty, Brandon Loris in the building today, and the show couldn't go on without the super producer Cam Sullivan over there, man.
Super producer, the reason we're always late to start the show.
I think there's some arguments that will be had there, man. But first things first on the list, big sports news splashed in the media this weekend, and that is Kyrie Irving going to the Dallas Mavericks. So what do you think about that?
I definitely think it's the biggest NBA news that we've had so far this season. I think he was the biggest splash that we're probably going to see of the trade deadline. I mean, a big thing is how is he going to fit with Luka in their offense, and then just kind of what kind of character is he going to bring in. That's going to be two of the biggest storylines coming into Dallas, and kind of where the Nets go from there as well.
Exactly. I think this is even bigger than a lot of people even realize. Luka is a lot like LeBron, if you ask me, skill set wise, and we've seen the success that Kyrie Irving's had alongside LeBron. He can play off ball better than a lot of guys in the league right now, and then obviously we know what he can do with the ball in his hand. And then a pick and roll with Luka and Kyrie. I mean, that's something different right there that the league might not be ready for.
I don't know how to feel about it because Kyrie's not going to re-sign with the Mavericks, so they'll have him till the end of the season, and that'll be it.
I mean, depending on how it goes, I think he'll re-sign with them.
I mean, why would he?
Why wouldn't he? They're young. They got young.
I mean, if you're a big market guy and you want to be in like a Los Angeles or Miami or something like that, like why would you even? And the Mavs know they're not getting him for longer than this because they didn't give up a ton compared to what they wanted from the Lakers.
But money wise, he gets more of the money playing for the Mavs. So
yeah, I mean, he could get a super contract, but Kyrie's one of them dudes. I don't think he cares.
I don't know. I feel like he's one of those guys where we just honestly don't know what he's going to do. He's such a weird.
Talk about conspiracy theories. He believes the Earth's flat.
He's such a weird mind that it's hard to get into his own mind and be like, what is he thinking? How does he process things? Why are these the things that he wants to do?
Shout out, Julio Don's watching.
Like why?
Julio.
Why after saying, "Oh, hey,
legend.
I want to sign an extension in Brooklyn," the next week, "Oh, I want out." Like it's. He's kind of wishy-washy and just kind of all over the place, and but I don't know. I feel like he could come in, and this is the help that Luke has been asking for.
Julio says plot twist: the Mavs trade him to the Lakers. That'd be great.
Happening.
I would love nothing other than to see Kyrie wearing that purple and gold with LeBron again. Tristan Thompson even put out something. I wouldn't mind seeing him because we know Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. He wouldn't be bad to have in the post in LA right now, at least rebound-wise anyway. I would like to see that. I would hope. I don't think the Mavs. I don't think there's a trade there. Who do they trade Kyrie for? To the Lakers. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a trade really there for the Mavs.
Picks,
but I would love to see it.
I don't know.
There's nothing that is going to help there because the Mavericks. That's not what they want. That's not what they need. They don't need picks. They need something to help them now. Yeah. Kyrie will help them now. I mean, last year they went to the Western Conference Finals off of just Luka and a pretty dynamic point guard. And in my opinion, you're just getting a more dynamic point guard. He's going to want the ball a little bit more, but he can also get you more points. Now that these two are on the team, they are the highest scoring duo now in the league on a team together. I feel like this is good for the Mavericks. I feel like they're going to try and possibly get some more pieces in the trade deadline and finish out the roster. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I feel like this makes the Mavericks better, and it could be interesting to watch down the road. And I feel like they didn't give up a ton. I think the main thing is they lost a lot of defense. Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith were two pretty big defenders for them, and so losing them is going to be an issue on the defensive side of the ball.
I agree. And then the Nets, they posted their new starting lineup to Twitter last night. It looks a lot different. What do you think it looks like? Obviously, I think Dallas won in this trade. But what do you think the Nets do for the remainder of the season, and what does that new starting lineup look like?
Well, so I think they're not done at the trade deadline as well. They're still going to be making splashes. I don't even know that we're going to see Spencer Dinwiddie stay. Spencer Dinwiddie could be flipped instantly for like an OG Anunoby or somebody like that, somebody else big in this trade deadline. They're trying to build around Kevin Durant. That's a big thing. They're still trying to win. They want to win as much as possible, and so whatever they can do to help build around Kevin Durant's what they're going to try to do. A point guard,
proven at this point, Kevin Durant's just not that dude.
I think
as far as being a winner, like he had to team up with the super team. His legacy's tarnished at this point.
It's hard to, because I know we talked about this last year, and we kind of came over the thing like, is Kevin Durant just like a really good role player, and it's hard to stick him into that category as a role player, but he's a puzzle piece though. He's a guy who, if you already have a team that's good, you put him on there, obviously he makes them better. He doesn't make them worse, he makes them better. But I don't think he's that core piece that you build around. I think that's kind of what he's shown. If he's shown anything to me while he's been in the NBA,
he's just not real likable.
No, he's not that. He's going to respond to your tweets. He's going to say whatever he feels at any moment, and then he goes out and he busts you down for 35. But I mean, so why would you like him?
But I mean, he super teams up, wins a couple, leaves, and quite literally hasn't done anything since then.
Say that one more time.
He teams up on the super team, leaves, and literally has accomplished nothing since he's left.
I agree. I mean, he has the Achilles tear. Obviously, we got to take that into consideration as well. But I just think, like I said, he's not the guy you build your team around. He's not the core piece. He's a puzzle piece. But Foley says the Mavericks need a player like Embiid. Luka likes to shoot a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that too. Like I felt like the point guard was the one place they didn't need to bring Kyrie in on. I don't know, mate. We'll see what happens. I don't really start watching NBA basketball till the playoffs.
You can't get a guy like Embiid at the trade deadline, though. Yes, obviously you can be like, oh yes, this would be a dream situation, but you're not getting Embiid at the trade deadline.
No,
you're not getting anybody like that. The closest guy that you're going to get to that was maybe a Jakob Poeltl, but that's not even his game either. Like this trade deadline wasn't really anything. Kyrie was the biggest piece,
for sure.
and you being able to get Kyrie was a big step in the right direction of getting Luka help. And so this is a big step forward in everything, and like the big matter of we will and we want to build around you.
So let's stay with basketball. Texas High swept the Lobos, girls and boys.
That they did. Girls' game was down in the Longview, and the girls went down and took care of business down there.
46-42 win for the Tigers.
Yep.
I think I said on the show Friday or whatever, Thursday, whatever we did it, I thought Lobos were going to win both games.
Yeah, and they did. They did not. The Tigers came out and despite a rough go at it this year for the program over at Texas High on the hardwood, they came out over a district opponent in both the games. And I think the boys' game, that may have been their best.
That's what I was going to say. Like, how did the boys win that game?
I think that was their best team performance in general. I mean, Alex Orr came up huge from behind the arc.
I saw that three-pointer.
Yeah, he had a few. Damon Augustus did his thing. He even brought the ball up the court for the majority of the night. I think they played as a team.
They changed around the lineups a lot Friday night, and so we got to see some new faces and kind of see different minutes getting played. And they felt, I don't know, they seemed the most like a team Friday night than I had seen all season, and they looked like they had all put it together and were just clicking in different areas, clicking on defense, talking to each other, just being able to help each other out whenever they needed it the most, and were able to close it out with big free throws and big defense to get them that win at the end.
Exactly. You mentioned new faces. I mean, we had Noah Hampton played probably his best game as a Tiger against Longview that night, even almost got a dunk there at the end of it. I mean, they just had guys coming in everybody that came in played productive minutes for the Tigers. TJ Gray had a nice little spin move, foul to get to the line right there at the end. I mean, they just played great basketball.
Let's keep with high school for a minute. I went out and watched soccer Saturday. PG girls and boys played North Lamar. It was a rain out from earlier on in the week. I don't know a lot about soccer, but on the girls' game, I bet you the PG goalie defended maybe, I know one for sure, maybe 2 kicks at her goal the entire game. Yeah. The entire rest of the game was spent on the other side of the field. Like, if it wasn't for North Lamar's goalie, Pleasant Grove would have scored 20 goals.
Yeah.
Like, their goalie was pretty good. They constantly stayed around the net that game. And then the boys, the freshman James Solomon, finished girls won 3-0 or 3-1. Boys won 3-0 or 3-1. James Solomon scored all 3 goals. Within the first minute of that game, he had 2 goals. So, pretty good experience out there. Somehow I got sunburned in February. But it was a good time. Shout out to both of those teams on their wins.
There we go. Soccer programs all around the area on the come up. We got a lot of games coming up. Soccer season always runs right there. It starts in that between time, and a lot of things get missed. But
I feel like soccer should be played in early fall. Volleyball should be a spring sport.
Yeah.
That would be live. Or at least start like, I don't know. I don't know how they do it.
I think soccer should start right. I think soccer should start at the same time as basketball. I think it would make it easier transition.
It'd be hard at those small schools, though, because those players play both sports. But, Dodie, you were out watching baseball Saturday.
Yeah, I had a great time out at Hook's new field. It was lovely out there, beautiful new field, new turf,
Lovely.
Only turf in the area. And so that being like a central location for all the teams in our area to come out and play after a big storm all last week. And so we started out with Texas High playing against Captain Shreve. And Texas High, they're young, and so they have a lot to build off of that. A big thing is still figuring out pitching. Worth McMillan started out the game and did really well, so I look forward to seeing him the rest of the season. Cameron Miller as well, I believe, had a really good game and really good showing. And then I think guys like Alan Cartwright and Jalen Gamble, they'll get it going more whenever it comes down to the season. And then at the plate, I think Knox Pilgrim, Jacob Yao were 2 big guys that got it done at the plate for the Tigers. And then Dalton Rayleigh went out really early with a pulled hamstring. And so I think that might be big for the Tigers. And Cody Reese was actually out there running bases Saturday, which is pretty funny.
So is he still not where he can throw yet?
No, I think he told me in about 2 weeks he'll be ready to start throwing right, and he'll play out in the field this season. Either in left or in center, depending on where he fits in best. And then I got to see later that night Hooks and Ellie, and Ellie looks in prime form already. I mean, Cal and WT, Britton Pipes, all these guys picking up right where they left off. Maddox Moore, he's a freshman, but he's going to be that guy. He pitched 10 or 11 pitches only, and he just looked really good out there for the Leopards, and I think they'll be really good. And even like I don't even think Cal and WT didn't even pitch Saturday, but they had other guys that came in and just executed their jobs perfectly well. And then Hooks, they look like they're going to be good too. Logan Davis had some good at-bats. Hudson Davis, I think if he can calm himself down on the mound some more, he'll be really good. He has a lot of good velocity out there, but they're 2 good teams that I look forward to watching the rest of the season.
Yeah, baseball season is going to be big this year. I've just been hearing the buzz a lot earlier than normal for a lot of teams. And then, we got to spend a little time with Texas High the other night. And their coaches are all saying high hopes for the season. He said the same thing. They're going to be young this year and figuring it out. And then Hooks with the new field, I mean, that's just got to put you on a whole new, high horse coming into the season. And then I wanted to ask y'all, with baseball fields going to turf and football fields are going back to grass, how do y'all feel about that?
I'm a fan of a grass field for football, especially with all the knee injuries. And then, the athletes are just bigger, stronger, faster than they have probably ever been. I don't really know how it affects baseball. I don't think they're making the kind of cuts that football players are making. And plus, they play during the wettest time of the year, so I'm for it.
I feel like especially at the high school level, it just makes more sense to have turf, so you're not having to worry about conditioning it as much and maintenance as much, especially with the weather. I think at a high school level, it just makes more sense to have turf. But at a professional level, I think it does make more sense to have real grass, as it is better for your knees and it causes less injuries. And I don't know. I haven't seen as much about baseball, but I know for football they are.
And it must not cost that much to do grass, because it was a UFC fans' just dream weekend. I mean, they had fighting all weekend, then they had NASCAR on Sunday, and they took the Coliseum, and they put that. I thought it was dirt. They did asphalt. They literally made an asphalt track inside the Coliseum. So I'm assuming they're tearing all that up, or obviously they are, and then taking it out, and then I guess we're just going to put grass back down. So it must not be as expensive as we think to put a turf field down.
I mean, or
a grass field.
Have it, you know.
I mean, I don't know how that made sense what they did. It didn't look like there was a ton of people there. I don't know where all the NASCAR fans were, but I mean, it wasn't half
California.
full. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't half full.
The Coliseum usually isn't unless it's the Rose Bowl.
With the UFC and NASCAR fighting for the same fan, I mean, it just is what it is. It's a complete jab at UFC, by the way.
I like that the football fields are going back to grass. I always like playing on grass a lot better. It just felt better when you got tackled or when you tackle somebody than being on the turf. Not to mention all the.
How does it feel when you get pancaked?
Never, I wouldn't know.
Well, so where I get confused is there's like different types of turf, and then there's grass. So, like apparently these NFL teams have this one certain type of turf, and then there's other teams that have grass, and then there's apparently this turf that's like really good. So I don't really get the difference in them or whatever. But apparently the Titans are switching to a different type of turf instead of grass.
There's a lot of different turfs, just like there's a lot of different grasses or whatever. But my whole thing is about what's underneath it. I think is the most, because like our biggest issue with the NFL right now is the concussion deal. It's not really very many knees getting torn up. It's more the concussion thing, and I think that's got a lot to do with when you hit your head on the ground more than hitting it with somebody else.
Well, I mean, this year, like more than ever, we had more torn ACLs and whatever because of the turf, and they say that it's because it's like they're playing on concrete. It feels like they have like no grip and have nowhere to plant, and then whenever they try to, they tear something. And so I guess that's the problem, and I feel like they would have more resistance or maybe in grass.
We know this from working in Cowboy Stadium. Like if you stand there for 4 or 5 hours, your feet are going to be done.
Yeah.
It is like standing on concrete. So, but when you walk out on the field, there is a pad underneath it, and I've seen the pad because as soon as that Big 12 championship game was over, they were pulling that stuff out of there like before we were in out of the stadium, and it's not thick. I mean, I bet you it's not a 1/4 inch thick, that padding. So, and it's literally just an asphalt thing. They just lay the pad on it. So, I don't know. I remember old Texas Stadium, the original, you could take a step and then, like, turn around and see your footprint in the pad. So, it was super soft.
Yeah. I played on that old Texas Stadium as a little bitty kid. Actually, my first football game ever. Was on the old Texas Stadium, and I just remember how
how does that happen?
This is how it really feels. You know what I mean? Like this is how all fields feel.
God looking down on you,
and that just wasn't the case. All fields don't feel that way. So yeah, that was definitely some soft padding back in the old Texas Stadium. I just remember also when we pulled up to that first game at AT&T this year, saying, I think I actually made the comments to Doty like, hey, they need some new turf in here. Or whatever, but it just gets worn out over time. But I like grass.
I'll tell you something else I noticed. I thought those turf fields were like sewn together.
Yeah.
They're not. They just lay them down beside each other. And then they put a thing, like the 5-yard line thing, they just put it over the top of it. And then they pull it real tight. Mm-hmm. So if your foot, let's just say, for instance, if the toe of your foot got caught underneath that while you're running full speed, like, you ain't continuing to run. Like they use 2 of those big bobcat things and they stretch it, and then someone's at the end tucking it on each side. Like it's wild.
Well, I'm pretty sure aren't they going to switch to grass either this year or the next couple of years, especially because I think the World Cup is going to be
Yeah, so they said
in
they
AT&T
would. That,
here soon.
But what makes me wonder about that is, well, another reason, like, I guess it just can't be that expensive because it's not like grass is going to grow in there.
Yeah.
They're just going to have to.
Well, you know,
they're going to have
Arizona
to.
has that thing where they slide their grass outside.
And I guess they're just going to unroll it and then let it. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I don't know how that works. So, but I mean, I know that they've definitely talked about it, especially with the World Cup going.
It seems
up.
like it would have to grow together for a little bit, so it would be flat everywhere, not just like, oh, you know, you go out and throw some grass in your yard, it's all uneven.
I don't know. I just remember a few years when Arizona built their new stadium. You know, 5 or 7 years ago, whenever it was, 10 years ago, they have their grass fields slid outside to get sunlight. And it slid back inside. So I don't know if that's something that Dallas would have to reconstruct their entire stadium.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be able to.
I mean?
From what I know about the stadium sits about 4 stories underneath ground level, like the actual field. So like when you go under the stadium, you go like a long ways underneath there before you're at field level. So they wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, so who knows? But if they want the World Cup, they've got to have grass because the World Cup was not going to be played on turf. But speaking of the World Cup, I got a trivia question for the fans right here.
I know I ain't getting this one right. It's about soccer.
Got a little 30-second time right here. 30-second timer up right here. Got a question, man. Which country won the first Women's World Cup?
Is it? Give me a.
This is for the fans. It's not for y'all.
Well, can I get a hint?
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. They play soccer. That's the hint.
They win a lot.
Argentina.
That is not right.
They win the Women's World Cup a lot.
Yeah, Women's World Cup. It's the women.
Is it Mexico?
Not Mexico.
Is it South American?
It's not South America.
Really? Man, I don't know.
Quite the opposite.
Well, not quite the opposite.
A European country?
No.
All right, that's the timer.
Is it
on that
Canada?
one. Nobody got it right.
A little bit more south.
Nobody got that one right. The USA won the first ever women's
That's
World
cap.
Cup. That's actually bad that nobody got that one right.
I mean,
we had somebody who knows Scottie Pippen.
You know, I saw that thing.
The USA
What was
Wait,
it, 3 years ago?
Scottie Pippen's what?
tattoo.
I don't know what that is.
That dude got it. Somebody got it right last time.
I mean, 2 minutes after the
What
fact.
was Scottie Pippen's tattoo?
Hey,
Pip.
do y'all remember the U.S. Women's World Cup team scrimmaging a 15U team in Dallas and losing to them?
Yes.
Say that one more time.
The U.S. Women's National Team scrimmaged a AAU soccer team, 15U, 15 and under,
And they beat him.
and the boys 15 and under team beat the women's world team.
That's tough.
They went on to win the World Cup that year.
Yeah, so
well,
evidently we got some 15U players in
Well,
Frisco
maybe
that
we
can
need
ball.
our men to play in the women's division and we could get a dub. I mean,
Women's World Cup's coming up this next year. Or I guess this year now, actually. Ooh.
hey, do
Forget
y'all
it's
want y'all's
2023.
question? You want y'all's question already? You want me, or you want me to wait?
Yeah, let me hear it.
All right. Well, y'all, Jay didn't get it right last time, so y'all are 0 for 4 at this point.
What was the question last week? Because I wasn't here.
Oh, I forgot it. It's in my
Yeah,
other
he called out sick.
It's in my other notepad over
I
there.
was sick.
Brody
I
called out
was going
sick.
through it.
But y'all's question is, what was the first city to host the Olympics twice?
The first city to host the Olympics twice. Summer Olympics?
It didn't specify. It just said the Olympics twice.
Probably Los Angeles.
No, it's not in America.
It's not in America.
London. Beijing.
Cam wants one?
Sydney.
Nope.
Beijing.
What continent's it on?
Europe.
London?
No, you're close though.
You're close. He's in London.
Paris?
Yep. That's
Paris?
it. Paris.
What
Hey.
years was that in?
The
Dude,
first-
Paris is dirty. I don't
Not
understand.
since I've been alive.
They're the first ones to host it twice. They hosted it
Hey,
twice.
listen, I don't know what this love is with Paris, but Paris is dirty. Don't go there.
Why you hating on Paris, man?
It's just not what you think it
City of
is.
love.
It's not what you think it is.
All I know is, no, that's going to make me sound real weak. I ain't going to say that.
Hey, Siri, play Broadway.
Yeah.
Play, no.
Once again, Cam doesn't have a mic.
Oh, man. Hey. We got King James, man.
Have we had a show where you don't talk about him yet?
Huh?
Have we had a show yet where you don't
I don't know if
about
I've
it?
ever been on a mic and not talked
Y'all
about
talk
it.
about Aaron Hernandez Thursday? It would have been 5 in a row.
Yeah,
Or
I
4
think
in a
we
row.
may have. We may have talked about him a little bit.
I feel like Aaron Hernandez pops up every show, too,
He
for
just
some
popped
reason.
up today. He just popped up today. But King James chasing the record, man. He's almost there. And me and Dodie were just talking about it off air. It seems like nobody's excited. It's kind of like it's not. No one's making it really a big
I
deal.
mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I had someone hit me up this week and said, "Hey, let's go to the game," and I said, "I can't go unless you're buying." But I said I would definitely go. But I plan on having everybody that lives in my household watch that moment.
You have to, I think.
We're going to be in the house. I'm going to make everybody do it.
I mean, he's
or
only
not.
he's 36 points away.
36 away.
That could be the next game.
I mean, he's playing against the Thunder. I mean, it's
Well,
definitely viable. Or, I
They
mean,
have a game between now and then.
No.
That's a Thursday game
no, that's Tuesday. Thursday's against the Bucks.
at home. That's when they say that he's probably going to break it.
No, Thursday. They think that it's
They're
Tuesday
both
against
at
the
home,
Thunder. No, that's in Oklahoma City,
He won't break it in OKC.
I mean,
and that's Tuesday.
that's one of them. If you get to 34 points, you pull him.
Yeah, he won't break it in OKC.
Or he could do it Thursday against the Bucks at home.
He's averaging 20 points a game or something. So his average says it's going to happen at home.
He's averaging 30 points a game.
The Thunder is not going to be televised.
Yes, it is. It's going to be on TNT. All of them are televised.
Did y'all see
All of
where
his games until he breaks
it's
it.
going to be televised worldwide? The Bucks Lakers game.
So is the Thunder game.
Yeah,
They're
have
all
the past
televised
10 games.
worldwide.
The past 10 games have been globally televised. Because just in case he goes for a Kobe Bryant night, he would have had 81 or something. But no, I think he could easily. The Thunder, he's already had a 40-point game against the Thunder this year.
Man, they're going to pull him.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do it. I don't
They
think
ain't
he'll
going to
do
let
it.
him break that record in freaking Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then the Bucks is a better game, and back home, I mean,
What do they do in this situation? Are they going to stop the game? Is
Yeah.
someone from the Hall of Fame going to come out, take the basketball, with the
Kareem
white
will
gloves
probably
on
meet
and
him.
all that?
Kareem will
Kareem
probably.
will be there.
Kareem will
he said
probably
he'll be there.
do something for him if I had to guess.
So, I mean, I feel like this is one of the moments they probably have to. So you think stop the game or no?
Yeah, they stopped
Oh,
the game for
absolutely.
sure. I mean, they
I want to see
game
the
on
dude come
2K
out
when
with the
you
white
break.
gloves and take the
They stopped the
basketball.
game when Curry broke the 3-point record.
Yeah,
Like I
they stopped the
mean,
game. The other team calls a timeout. Actually, it's actually kind of a cool thing. They make the other team call the timeout. That's pretty legit. But if you're playing against LeBron right now, do you let him score?
I mean, they let Kobe score
I
60.
mean, if you're the Thunder, yes. I mean, you don't.
Brandon, you got something to say about that?
Brandon has a mic.
I see you laughing over there. Huh?
No,
You think they let him score 60?
that was funny.
Or he just scored 60?
I just
mean,
thought it was funny.
I mean, he took 85 shots that game.
I
I don't know if anybody else even shot the ball.
I'm excited for the record, man. What do you think this means for basketball? And then what do y'all think this means for LeBron?
It's just it's a good move for professional basketball. Like it's falling at the perfect time. There's no major controversy going on in the NBA right now. The NBA's in a good spot. It's just another way it's separating itself from it's never going to be football. It's never going to be soccer, but there's nothing else around it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's falling at a bad time because of that reason, though. It's Super Bowl week. I mean, the eyes aren't all on LeBron.
I didn't consider that.
It's, I
that
mean,
is a big idea.
and that's why I feel like it hasn't been talked about a lot. It's because we're still in football mode. We're still in, oh, hey, these are the playoffs. This is about to be the Super Bowl. I mean, this is Super Bowl week. We have Radio Row all week to be like watching and looking forward to. And, I mean, and I think that's kind of why we've kind of been downplaying it in a way, and just not necessarily been thinking about it as much, or not necessarily been as much hype, not necessarily between us, but like in the media in general about it. And so I feel like that could be kind of a factor in why, I don't know. And if it does happen against, say, the Thunder, I mean, I feel like that's going to, I don't know. I feel like NBA viewership has been down anyway. And so I feel like it does kind of hurt what it does mean, because it's a huge accomplishment. It's an incredible thing that we've never thought was going to be passed, but it is now by LeBron. And I don't know.
I'm trying to think. This doesn't have the home run chase feel.
That's the comments he made. Is that what you're referring to? That's the comments he made?
No, I was like, I remember nobody in my we weren't baseball fans. But that night that Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa played each other when they were in like the middle of the run, like I remember us watching that. My dad telling me like how big of a deal this was. and we have never been baseball fans. Like, we never watched baseball is what I'm getting at. So it doesn't feel like that to me. I'm going to try to give my kids that feel.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that to me. But I'm trying to think of a greater accomplishment that we've seen in our lifetime in sports than this. Because that's a single-season home run thing. We know it was during the steroid era. You know.
I feel like it's the only thing that I can think of is Barry Bonds hitting the all-time home record mark as in that Giants. Like I wasn't like alive and like truly remember it, but like I remember the video and the atmosphere of Giant Stadium whenever it happened, and I don't feel like anything's gonna like replicate that. Like,
is that the one he hit out in right field into the bay?
Cubby Cove. Hey, that. See, for me, I'm a huge baseball guy, and I grew up in a baseball house. That's all was on TV, and just watching Barry Bonds being a left-handed hitter, that time period of him chasing the record, it was just different. Maybe because I'm not a basketball player, even though I'm a humongous LeBron James fan. Maybe that's why I don't have that same feeling. But watching, I mean, like you said, the stadium every night was super electric in San Francisco. When he hit those home runs, I mean, there was 100 canoes out there waiting on the ball to come out there.
Yeah.
I even feel like Pujols trying to chase 700 last year was kind of had more hype than. Yeah, Aaron Judge trying to break the single season or the AL single season record because he knew he wasn't going to break the actual single season record.
I love that you're a Red Sox fan.
I hate the Yankees.
You can't even talk about Aaron Judge.
I tell you, have you ever been to that stadium in San Francisco?
I have not.
I don't know where anybody parks at.
No
you turn like you're going to Fisherman's Wharf. There's only one road that goes in that area, and there's no parking. I don't know where anybody parks at.
And that's what makes it. I guess that's what made it so. I don't know. I just remember like all you could see when Barry Bonds was up to bat was like, you know how you see the camera flashes or whatever, but in real time on TV, I mean, that's all you saw. Like the stadium was just crazy electric, and then when he would hit it, I mean, 29-inch bat, and then he hits it 500 feet. I mean,
I don't know. So you're saying that was a bigger deal? That was, in your opinion, a much bigger accomplishment than this?
I mean, it felt that way.
Yeah.
I think this one, because this record stood for so long. You didn't think anybody would play this long. You know, he played 20 years. Kareem played 20 years to get it. You didn't think anybody else would play 20 seasons at that level. I
don't feel like the NFL passing record. I feel like it's been dull because Tom Brady's just played so long.
Yeah. I wonder if baseball, like, it has, like, that, like, the atmosphere and that kind of, like, hype around it because it is much more of, like, a personal thing. Whereas with, like, the NFL, you're sharing that moment with 11 other people on the field, and it takes everybody to do that at once. Whereas with baseball, you are truly doing it yourself. You are hitting it over the wall and all this and all that. And I feel like that what makes it more of a, I don't want to say a bigger accomplishment. I mean, in a way, it kind of is in my opinion, but I don't know. I feel like it's just a more personal thing, and where with baseball,
it's not getting that. It's just not getting that feel. Maybe that night when he finally, you know, when he eclipses it, and I'm watching it, and you know, my house every TV will have it on it, and like you said, I'm gonna try to make a feeling for my kids to think about how I remember when I was sitting there and my dad was going nuts when LeBron broke Kareem's record. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to make that feel, but I just don't think. To us right now, it has the feel as big as the moment actually is.
Yeah, I can't imagine, especially if it's in Oklahoma City, that the atmosphere will be super crazy. In LA, I know it'll be packed out. There will be a bunch of stars there.
That's what I think.
So
I feel like that'd be cool.
I looked it up last night, and you could still find seats for like $300 in the nosebleeds. But they were saying a lower level seat starts at $9,000 and goes all the way up to $240,000 for courtside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So who are we going to see?
You're going to see the biggest of the biggest. Well, I mean, I think you see Spike Lee on the sideline in L.A. You know, we normally see him in the Garden, but I think he goes out there.
You know what I found out?
Exactly.
You know what I found out about Spike Lee in New York and the basketball?
What?
So if you sit and Jack Nicklaus probably is not paying for his tickets. They're giving them to him, but he has to agree to do interviews, and they get to use his likeness to promote their basketball stuff.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with Spike Lee in New York or whatever. Same thing with that dude in Toronto. which, by the way, may be the best fan in all sports.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have y'all heard his story?
I have not.
I don't know his story, but I mean, I see him at every game. Like I know his passion behind that team.
I'm probably going to butcher this a little bit, but shout out to this dude. Has a world championship ring. They got him one.
Yeah.
Probably the first time ever they've given one to a fan. Anybody's given one to a fan like that, like the real deal, same one players get. He came over here from somewhere. I'm going to assume Middle East maybe, and worked at a car lot. And then just kept like grinding. Now he owns a bunch of car lots.
Yeah.
And like he's that dude. He's Mr. Toronto. Like everybody loves that guy. And he talks about, when he first came over, the racism and all that, and how it was very difficult for him doing what he's doing. But he was like a big deal where he came from, and then just took a normal job, and then like worked his way back up.
Yeah.
So shout out to that dude. I like
Shout out
that
to
guy.
that dude for sure. Hey, did you see where Kobe told Spike Lee when he was scoring a bunch of points on the New York one night, and Spike Lee was like, "Are you doing this because of me?" Because Spike Lee was talking trash to him. Or
He was
whatever.
like, tell him what you did to him.
and Kobe was like, "Yeah, this is definitely your fault that I'm busting y'all's tail, and it was your fault when Jordan did it, and it's your fault when he just names out all these people that scored all these points on the Knicks or whatever from Spike Lee talking trash."
Yeah, I have a feeling that we'll see all the big faces: Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jack Nicholas, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's the main one.
Snoop Dogg's everywhere right now.
We'll
Shannon
see
Sharp.
everybody. We'll
Dude,
probably
is he
see
about to be
Quavo,
60 years
Shannon
old?
Sharp. Who, Snoop? 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably is.
Hey Siri, how old is Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg probably is 60 or getting close. I mean,
No, he got a while.
Dog is 51 years old.
51.
51.
Hey, still on top too. That's huge. I mean, that's
Yeah.
he's still
He's still the
relevant.
coolest dude walking around.
Yeah, he's still super relevant, man. But we don't want to get too far away from the NBA. Don't you have some conspiracy for us?
Actually, I do. It's Conspiracy Theory Monday. We also have Conspiracy Theory Wednesday and Friday. But I love conspiracy theories. And this is one I believe is true.
All right.
The NBA rigs a 1985 draft lottery. If you remember back, go all the way back to 1985, the New York Knicks were just perennial losers. Could not get a player to come to New York for any amount of money. And obviously they had one of the worst teams in the NBA. We don't have the video to show y'all, but David Stern, I believe, was it David Stern?
Yes.
David Stern grabs an envelope with reckless. I'm going to read you what it says. David Stern grabs New York's envelope with reckless abandon of a charging rhinoceros. He doesn't feel around for a cease or a frozen envelope. He just grabs a pick, grabs a pick from the middle of the globe. But he stared at it the entire time while he was grabbing it, looking for a distinguishing mark. So, and they pull it out, and of course they end up with maybe the best Nick of since then,
I don't have any Knicks.
Patrick Ewing.
I don't have any Knicks knowledge, but I would say, yeah. I mean, he's definitely at the top.
Melo's probably the closest since.
I don't feel like Melo's loved in New York like that. Because I mean, dude, he was
I mean,
like
he
he
didn't-
was
He kinda went quiet in New York for a second, but I think he's loved in New York.
He didn't win anything, but I mean, he brought a lot of fame to New York whenever and during those times, I would say.
Immediately a playoff.
That's a fact. Say it again, Brandon.
They were immediately a playoff team when he got there.
Yeah, I mean, him and Jeremy Lin on those teams, J.R. Smith on those teams. I
Insanity,
mean, those
baby.
those are some fun New York Knicks teams. I mean, they never got
but
anything accomplished. I mean, because LeBron just ruled the East.
They got-
but
Say
got
that-
Pat-
Hold on. Say that one more time.
because LeBron ruled the East. Here
Okay.
you go.
all right.
Save it for later, Nick.
So back to my conspiracy
Save it
theory.
for later, Nick.
New York went on to have extreme success. Did not win a championship, but were extremely successful while Patrick Ewing was there. Had John Starks at point guard, Charles Oakley playing the forward. Y'all are probably a little bit too young to remember that. Is this a conspiracy you can believe in?
I can get behind this conspiracy right here. Chris, first of all, anything with me in sports, I'm always down for this conspiracy. But this one seems just very needed, not necessarily something that was like very sneakily done. I think New York needed a player. New York's a huge market for the NBA. So if you're the commissioner, how do you get him a player? Let's rig up this lottery system real quick. I mean, I think I can get behind it.
I feel like it's fair. I mean, if you are a high market franchise and you have one of the worst teams in the league, I feel like it does make a lot of sense to bring in somebody that will just elevate that squad and bring in more numbers and bring in more ticket sales and to help benefit your league. I mean, it does make sense if it is true.
Patrick Ewing was unbelievable to watch growing up.
Exactly.
I mean, he was
I got one that sends this conspiracy theory a little bit further.
He's an awful coach.
I got one that
Hold
sends a
on.
little bit further right
He
here.
came in the time of the big man. 90s were the greatest time to watch basketball. Patrick Ewing, Shaquille O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning, who gets a lot of hate, but he was that dude when he was in Charlotte, and Hakeem Olajuwon, and in my opinion, one of the greatest centers to ever play the game, Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
He was fun, especially when he was in Colorado and Denver.
Hey, do you think the NBA told New York, hey, we'll give y'all this guy, make your team a splash in the market, you know, y'all make a bunch of money, but no dubs? That's a bigger conspiracy right there I can get behind. What deal was made with the NBA to get Patrick Ewing?
I bet you there was no deal made. I think the NBA just knew it was in their best interest because if you're not relevant in the New York market, you're not going to be relevant nationwide.
I mean, that's true. That is true. What, has Brooklyn always been Brooklyn? No.
No, they were New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, the New Jersey Nets. So you already had two teams there also.
And they got to do something with the Garden. I enjoyed my experience there last year.
It's no renovations.
It's and supposedly their lease is up, and they're in talks about destroying the Garden, which we all know is not going to happen. But they legally can at this point because there's been no major renovations done to the Garden. The area around the Garden is renovated, like the places around the Garden look like early 2000s. The Garden looks like it's 1960s still.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just.
Yeah, isn't it like a historical landmark now, a part of New York? I feel like it is now.
I read the article that the city of New York can just do whatever they want with it. Like that, they don't have to let them play there anymore.
Oh,
like all the they're supposed to be investing stuff back into it, and they haven't.
Yeah.
I don't, and it's been a while. It was when I was in New York when I'd read that because it literally, it's not what you think. It looks like trash.
It's the name is bigger.
Now
than the
inside of it, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go in and, I mean, it's just like any NBA arena. It's just old. Like, but then you can like feel the history. You know, like you walk up the little escalator things all the way up, and while you're going up, there's just all this history all over the wall. So I mean, it's cool. But if you just walk by it, you'd be like, "What is that?"
I wonder if like the casual person doesn't even think of like MSG as like, oh, that's where the Knicks play now, because the Knicks have been kind of so mediocre over the few years. I wonder if they think of it maybe as like, oh, this is where the Rangers play, the hockey team. Like I know that's a big
I think
thing for
that's the
them.
same question. Like
Or a musical.
my son, he wasn't alive when the Cowboys. In his entire life, the Cowboys have been a disappointment.
Yeah.
My
Like
entire
he
life.
can't see the Cowboys like I can see the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So I think that's fair.
Yeah. That I think. The Knicks get so overlooked in my sports world. I guess I don't even think I've never even thought about that. But yeah,
I mean, like teenage girls are going to be like, "Oh, that's where Harry Styles played 15 nights at MSG." Like that, I didn't know any teams played there. Like, I mean, the Knicks they haven't been good enough. I mean,
How do you know he did that?
it was a pretty big accomplishment, by the way.
yeah, I'm just
And
saying.
maybe 20-year-old redheaded kids.
Hey, he played 15 straight nights at MSG. That's pretty impressive.
I think, I think I'm on the side with Dodie right there. I think I know the Garden right now. Even if I just close my eyes and think about the Garden, the Knicks are far down the list on what's happened there.
Yeah.
A lot of it too, you got to keep in mind it's the most highly taxed state in the country. So, professional athletes pay a bunch of tax, but they also pay a professional athlete tax. They're literally taxed more than anyone else in the country. Like it's almost a 60% rate just because they're a professional athlete. But that doesn't include New York's state tax.
Exactly, and
Which
that's
is
what I was talking
also
about on the
really
Kyrie
high.
thing.
That's probably why Kyrie wants out.
Yeah,
give me to Texas.
That's what I was talking about on the Kyrie thing. He can go make at this point in his career. He's got a ship. He's got
I've been meaning to
accolades.
tell you all this.
Go ahead.
Random. Who's the old dude down at LSU, Brian Kelly, who we said he was getting paid and got overpaid $1 million? All right. Did y'all see where they were paying his? They don't pay him directly; they pay his LLC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this dude is writing off stuff through his LLC to get tax breaks.
Yeah.
Is what I just learned.
Yeah.
Through all that.
Yeah. And
So-
he got blasted because he wasn't getting paid right, or they overpaid him.
Yeah, and it's
Somebody
random.
has
These
to get
NBA players, they have to be being taxed as employees, not contract employees. Which seems like they should be contract employees to me.
Yeah,
So
'cause
they're
they-
like
they-
actual employees of the New York Knicks. But it seems like they should be contract employees because they could write off a lot more.
Yeah.
As
but
a contract
I think it also
employee.
makes it like where they don't have to handle as much.
I mean, but they get
If
taxed
they're-
at an
if they're
unbelievable
contract
rate.
Employees and they all have to handle their taxes, and with the sports world knowledge that we have, we know that wouldn't end out right for a lot of these guys.
Well, I do know when they have the rookie dinner and they spend $55,000 on it, they can write that off if they're a contract employee.
True that. True that.
It's probably going to raise some eyebrows, but it can be done.
Have y'all seen the Jalen Ramsey story of the rookie dinner when he was in Jacksonville?
No.
A bunch of people were talking around the locker room that they were going to run up his bill because you know how Jalen Ramsey, you know, he's talking trash to everybody and all that stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
They're talking crazy how they're going to run up his bill and all this stuff or whatever. So he calls to the restaurant before they go there and orders this room or whatever, and he already has the meal like pre. They didn't even get to order. Like they just walked in there, and the food was already ordered and everything like that.
That's hilarious.
He was like, "Nah, I wasn't going for that."
Jalen
That's what I
Ramsey
would
would.
do, man. What you got? What you got on the list over there, Dodie?
I mean, there's not much else. I mean, it was a pretty slow weekend. I mean,
I saw my random favorite video ever on TikTok.
What?
My favorite thing to watch when I'm feeling down.
All right.
Hard Knocks, Sursa 2003. Baltimore Ravens. When the dude comes in and makes fun of Shannon Sharp. Every time I watch that, I can't. It puts a smile on my face and makes me laugh.
He sounds just like Shannon.
I mean, just like I wanted my restitution. Like what?
did you see that they made a 30 for 30 about those early 2000 Ravens teams that came out last night?
I never watched that.
I didn't watch it, but it looked pretty good.
Hey, Shannon Sharp is the best impersonation outside of Denzel. If I see anybody doing a Shannon Sharp impersonation, they got me hooked. I'm watching. That's always.
Speaking of Denzel, Brandon, who's the best actor of all time?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. If he didn't have Forrest Gump, would he still be your top one?
Yes.
Who you got, Dodie?
Best actor of all time?
He's gonna be like the new Spider-Man or something.
No,
Well, he's quite a bit younger.
I don't know. Leo's good. I like Leo and all the stuff that he does. Kevin Costner is personally my favorite. I like Kevin Costner.
That's a good one.
Kevin Costner's crazy.
That's one I wouldn't.
I mean,
wouldn't
he's-
pick- I guess I would pick you.
He's an insane person, but good actor. Separate the art from the artist, you know.
Separate the art from the artist. I like the Leo pick, man. I mean, mine's got to be. I mean, I gotta go Denzel. I mean, I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel's mine. Leo's definitely top three.
Leo top 3.
I had forgot about Tom Hanks. I don't know if I'd put him in my top 3.
I feel like there's a lot of people I forget about too, though.
His performance in Elvis ruined him for me. He was awful in Elvis.
Well, like
Cam
Denzel,
got Al
some of my
Pacino.
favorite movies of all time, Denzel's in. Like American Gangster is one of my favorite movies ever. And Denzel's had such a broad range of things he's done. What's the other one where he was a police officer?
Training Day.
Training Day. I mean, great.
Yeah, Training Day.
I don't know. I feel like anything he's in,
Equalizer.
pay your
I
money
mean,
because it's going to be good.
yeah.
And Leo, I like his stuff, but Denzel's.
Leo's just a different type of movie. That's why, like, I think the best actor, like even Cam saying Al Pacino, I feel like movies, you got to kind of have, like, you got to split up into categories, like who's the best action movie actor, who's the best drama. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to do it like that because
And you know, nobody said Tom Cruise.
nobody said Tom Cruise, but I mean, he might go in your action. Mission Impossible was huge. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he might go in your action movie top 3, but I'm not putting Tom Cruise in my top 3 and just in general. And then Al Pacino, if we talking gangster movies, I mean,
Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger in Black Mass was
See, Johnny Depp's got some crazy roles too, like Edward Scissorhands. That's a great role right there, way back in the day. Then you got
Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is just so memorable.
Obviously, all of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But then you got his his movies that are like.
Do you know he can't dress up as Jack Sparrow anymore?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he used to go and go to hospitals and stuff, but after that stuff with that woman, something happened, and now he can't. Like they won't. I guess because she said
That's
he
why
beat
he
her
sued
or
her.
something.
That's why I sued her. Defamation.
Yeah, but he still can't do it.
Well, yeah, but getting all that money back for defamation.
All right, it's Super Bowl week.
Oh no. No.
Brandon, give us your crazy statement of the day. What is something you believe?
That's going to happen at the Super Bowl?
No, just in general. Like, what is something that
Sorry,
you believe
I don't have
in,
anything today.
sports wise?
What's your wildest take that you have always held on to?
No,
I don't have one today. So.
no. Give us a hot take in the sports world though, for real though. Like, who do you think's better?
All right,
than-
so
who do
you
think-
said this Kyrie Luka's not going to work out. Tell us why.
I didn't say that. I mean, well, for one, he's not going to be there 1 year. I mean, if they can, I don't. He's unloyal for one. He's always a problem. I mean, he's just there's no way it can work out.
That was a terrible take. Let's try again. All right, Brandon, who's going to win the Super Bowl and why?
The Eagles.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is playing, and McCole Hardman's not playing for the Chiefs. If that
We were
matters.
asking for Brandon's hot take.
I didn't give an opinion. I'm just stating.
Brandon, tell us
facts
why.
If he wants
I
to
don't have one. I'm sorry.
give an
You
opinion,
just think the Eagles are going to win?
You just think the Eagles gonna win? No,
I think Brandon may lose his mic. I told y'all when he got a mic, he'd quit saying the dumb stuff he says.
Brandon.
He
Well,
don't
I
really
have
bel-
one every single day. You expect me to have one every single
You
day?
normally
I
do
just
have
don't
You normally
one
have
a
something
day.
dumb every
Like, as soon as
day.
we
Like
get done,
one a
you-
week
as soon as
I
we
have
get done,
one.
you have
No.
one.
One a week. I
every
have
single time we walk in this office, you say something crazy.
Do we know anything that Brandon said that we could ask the audience to chime in on?
Yes, I actually have a hot take for y'all. July 2019. This game day thing seems like Fire Festival 2.0.
Oh, that's a rough take. That's a rough take right there, boy.
No.
Yeah, and if you got all the details to it, you would agree. Everybody would agree. We had money on the table before anything even happened.
I keep the
That's
lights
exactly
on so y'all can
Firefest.
play.
I mean, are you
Like,
not supposed to have a little money in
literally
it
Game
before
Day
you
was getting
start?
paid before they did a thing.
Do what?
I said literally Game Day was getting paid before they did a thing. So that's exactly Fire Festival.
Sometimes you have big vision and the follow through.
Fire Festival never happened, but we're sitting here on the drop right now, so I guess game day did happen.
I didn't say I was right. I just said at the time I was right.
That's probably the hottest take of.
Also got another hot take. Brandon Loris said Derek Carr is the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Fake
win.
news. Fake news.
They say win. Hey, he did have a nice showing out in Vegas.
When it doesn't count.
And the
I
skills.
did say-
Oh, by the way,
I got you. I did say that I think the Cowboys should go after Derek Carr. I think he would be better than Dak.
I don't know that that's to be true.
I don't know if that's
How big
true.
of a take that is.
I feel like that's. I don't know.
I feel like that's a
I
terrible
don't feel
take.
like I don't feel like you're getting better or worse with that. I feel like you're kind
I
of.
feel like you're putting yourself in the same position for sure.
Did y'all watch any of the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, I watched
bits,
some of it.
bits and pieces.
It's terrible, man. They might as well
bits
not
and
do it.
pieces.
They might as well not do it anymore.
The players did have fun. I will agree with that.
They liked it.
They looked like they were having fun, more fun than they were.
I mean, I bet you the linemen weren't having fun playing tug of war.
yeah, they were having to work out. That's not fun. I was thinking about that too. Like, how y'all gonna make these cats work out?
And then they had what's his name got injured.
Who got injured?
Who's the dude?
Somebody did get injured.
Who's the dude that hit the quarterback over the head with a helmet?
Miles Garrett.
Miles
Myles
Garrett
Garrett.
did.
That's just the juice coming back and getting him. He'll be all right.
He injured his big toe, like dislocated his big toe or something.
No, he's freaking humongous, dude. Like,
Not that juice.
he got to be juiced up.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey did clothesline
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill. He didn't mean to, but
He probably did mean to. Chris,
I don't know.
Oh, you reading the comments? I get the comments later than everybody. I feel like
that's because you got T-Mobile.
not at all.
We're sponsored by Verizon over here.
That's exactly who I have. So
I got T-Mobile, and I
they
said
sponsor.
perfectly
If
fine.
they sponsor, I got a couple bills I need to pick up.
Dodie is always first.
I got T-Mobile, and I see everything first. So
Hey, we got a Verizon sponsorship. I got a couple lines to add to it. they ain't doing it like that. No doubt, man.
What do y'all think we're gonna see in the Super Bowl? It's Monday, week of. We got all week to. What's the line on the Super
Hey,
Bowl?
before
Do
we
we
get
know?
to the line,
I'll
before we
look
get to the
up.
line on the Super Bowl, the Kelsey thing. If any way you can help out with that, we need to get us some.
Yeah, so there
signatures.
over 100,000 people have signed a petition to let the Kelsey's mom throw up the coin toss,
the coin call.
coin toss at the Super Bowl, and I'm all for that.
I'm all
NFL,
for it, too. I think
I'm all for that.
I think that'd be dope to have them two come out as captains, have the mom do the coin toss. I mean,
Dude, if the NFL
often-
don't do that, something's wrong.
they're
man.
trash.
Like,
We already know that.
who's gonna tell me who's gonna throw the coin toss? Look up who's supposed to toss the coin.
Okay, the spread's a pick 'em, by the way, 1.5, 50.5 over under.
Pick them. You heard them.
Super Bowl coin toss.
Hey,
I know Chris Stapleton's singing the national
Chris
anthem.
Looney says Chiefs exposed the Eagles on defense. I think it's going to be quite.
Hold
the
on. Chris Stapleton's singing what?
The national anthem.
And then they're gonna have Rihanna at halftime.
Best of both worlds, baby.
Man, they're trying to just make everybody happy.
The best of
Hey,
both
Chris,
worlds.
Chris Stapleton sang with Stevie Wonder last night at the Grammys. That went pretty hard.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody watched the Grammys anymore.
I watched the Grammys last night. It was pretty
You're
nice.
too young to be watching the Grammys.
It's like the Tillman Foundation. isn't
I'm
it?
too young to be watching the Grammys.
Yes.
I mean, it's all my people that are singing right now. Like all the people that I listen to.
It's just not something that anybody watches anymore.
What you
It's
know
not
about Stevie?
it's not a respectable
Was
thing
Stevie
like it
doing his
was.
thing last night, or was he just up there singing?
Friday, he's on the wall.
Yes, he was.
He was on his thing last
Yeah,
night.
also faking being.
Anyway,
blind,
who's
but that's
tossing the
another-
coin?
Oh man, hey, that's
The
another
Tillman
conspiracy.
The Tillman Foundation is tossing the coin.
Okay,
I
How
mean,
does
that's
that-
not a horrible.
that's a
What?
Good, that's a
It
good
says
person.
right here.
Yeah.
Donna Kelsey will not be doing the coin.
That's a good person to people to do it though.
Why?
I
The
mean,
Pat Tillman Foundation. I feel like.
But
it
is. Are
is.
they tossing the coin?
because I think that's just.
Is
their-
his
do
wife
they
tossing
always
the
toss
coin?
it? Do they always toss it?
I don't know that they always toss it, but I feel like it's just good recognition to get
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm saying.
out
I think it's
there.
good recognition. I was just wondering if they.
I mean,
always
how?
toss it.
I mean, I feel like that's the best way to just truly get them out there. And be
I think
like,
if they're
hey,
trying to get money from it, which sounds like they probably are,
I mean, they are.
throw something up on the screen and let Kelsey's mom toss it for them.
For the Tillman for the Tillman group or foundation.
I really feel like she needs to toss this coin.
I do too, because when's the next time we're gonna have this? I mean, let's think about it.
We've never had one.
Exactly.
You had coaches, brother,
That don't-
head
that's-
coaches.
that's- who cares about them?
Everybody forgets about that.
They
We
ain't
had the-
playing.
we had the,
Nobody cares.
They ain't playing. That's why we
The
forget
Harbaugh
about
The only thing I care about that is they turn the power off on Beyonce at halftime.
it. Yeah,
Wasn't happy about that.
that was another conspiracy right there.
I mean, it may be true. We'll talk about it.
I just lost the conspiracy during all that right there because we were just saying it, but you said a good one. A good conspiracy just came out. I have to think back on. What
Oh
we
yeah,
just
Stevie
said.
Wonder's not blonde.
Oh yeah, Stevie Wonder's not.
A lot of
blind.
people say he's not blind.
Hey,
He is not blonde.
He can't be. Sometimes
They-
He might be legally
they were,
blind.
They were specifically not showing him like walking or like showing him like moving around because they didn't want us to know that he's not blind. Like
Hey.
we clearly know where he's going. Like it's pretty obvious.
Hey, I'm pretty sure I mean, because he does too much of the Ray. He does too much of the Ray.
Hey, no, we're not gonna do this.
What?
That's what we're not gonna do.
Hey, talented. He an incredible musical artist.
Yeah.
Not blind.
Incredible musical artist, right? But it makes it so much better. His music is so much better because he's blind.
Y'all gonna tell me for 40 years ain't nobody seen Stevie doing something unblind? No.
We have
I
always.
mean, we ain't never seen Stevie doing nothing blind.
They said it.
We've
Who said
always
it?
seen something.
Shaq said it. He said he got on an elevator with him. He said he got on an elevator with him, and he was standing behind. Actually, Stevie Wonder got on the elevator, and Shaq was standing behind him. And Stevie Wonder turns around and he says, "What's going on, Shaq?"
See,
And he had nobody with him to tell
Okay,
him what it was.
at 6'3.5", if I get on an elevator and I hear somebody breathing a foot above me, I'm gonna say, "What's up, Shaq?" Too.
I mean, yeah, that
Get
could
outta
be
here.
that could be debunked. That story could be debunked, I think. But this is my deal. Cam said, when have you ever seen him doing something not blind? The only thing I've ever seen him do is not blind.
For
Play
real.
the piano. Y'all ever seen him do?
So you gonna say Ray Charles was not blind?
I don't know about Ray. Ray had to get his
Ray
made his
went blind. We learned that in the movie.
Yeah, Ray went blind, and Ray also. We saw Ray, or we didn't see, but I've seen countless stories of the wrist check. Ray going home with some ugly women just off the wrist check. They, you know what I'm saying?
I forgot about the wrist
Would
check.
he
You're
go
right.
home with
Hey, how about that one when he grabbed that girl's wrist and was like, ugh.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's some proof right there.
Hey,
Is
that's a whole
Stevie
nother
out here
subject. Ray was tripping with that.
Is Stevie out here checking wrist, or Stevie? You know, the only thing I can say about Stevie, no offense to Stevie, the only thing I can say about Stevie
He went hard last night.
is that his hair line is the only thing that make him blind. Like, bro, you ain't see your hairline receding like that. You know, that's the only thing that might make him blind. Other than that,
I mean, in someone's defense who has a receding hairline, he can't help it.
Hey, but no, you ain't rocking.
Let
dreads
it go.
all the way to the back.
You can let
my
it
boy's
go. That's
dreads-
what you can do.
My boy's dreads start at the middle. Ain't gonna get it done.
Hey, what you not gonna do, my boy? Like,
I mess with Stevie though, man. You know,
Shout out
ribbon
Stevie.
in the sky.
There was also a 50th anniversary to hip hop last night at the Grammys. That was really cool.
Why
I
are we
feel
still
like
talking about the Grammys?
I feel like y'all would really like it if y'all looked it up.
I'm gonna look it up because I mess
It
with
was
Stevie.
really
Hey,
cool.
Chris Looney said the same thing. He said Stevie is for sure blind. No way he has that haircut.
Let me see this haircut.
It's bad.
Hey, shout out my guy Stevie though, man. One of the top artists of all time, right there.
If I ever got hacked and somebody was going through the stuff I searched, they'd be like, "What the hell is this dude looking at?"
Stevie Wonder's hairline.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I do remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the dread started
Yeah,
back,
man. You know what the problem with this is? And I think about this all the time because you can't say nothing to kids, but sometimes you see kids come in, you're just like, "Who told you this was okay?"
All right.
But then I think back to like when we were kids, and somebody told Stevie Wonder, "Nah, man, it's fly." Somebody convinced him, "Nah, man, this is it. You look fly."
Yeah, ain't nobody tripping up that hairline. But I mean, or he's just Stevie and like, you know, I'm Stevie. At the end of the day, well, who cares what my hairline look like? I want my dreads.
I'm swinging.
When I get to move my hair, I get to move my head around. I need them swinging, baby. I need them swinging. But no, hey, what was that? Was there any hot takes from the Grammys last night? Anybody get slapped?
No,
Anybody-
there wasn't nothing crazy like that. I mean, Beyonce broke the record for most individual Grammys won
Okay.
in the middle of the night.
Hey, have y'all seen Beyonce's more conspiracy? Have y'all seen Beyonce's ex bodyguard coming out and saying that her and Jay-Z are like the Illuminati? Not necessarily Illuminati stuff, but her and Jay-Z, like, they definitely mess around in some weird groups and they'll do whatever to whoever to get what they need.
I feel like
I do believe that insanely wealthy people. I mean, think about it. If you're super poor, you have certain people you hang around who are probably super poor. If you're middle class, you probably hang around middle class people. If you're wealthy, you probably have the wealthy friends in town. If you're one of the wealthiest people in the world, I have to assume that group is very small.
Yeah.
And nobody else can understand probably the pressures a billionaire goes through. We are like, oh, they're rich, whatever, but like those are big. That's a lot to go on, a lot of stress. So I do believe there probably are groups that get together, and I do believe nobody's a billionaire because of how wonderful they are. I do believe all billionaires, anybody that's experienced extreme success like a billionaire would have to, there's a lot of luck involved, and you had to hurt a lot of people along the way.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, prime example. You know how many, if your business is doing really well on Amazon, this has happened, and your business is doing great on Amazon, and you turn in and you happen to fall in their top 5 producing products, you're going to get copied by Amazon. They're going to put you out of business. So think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like how many people he hurt and those things. So I do believe you don't get to that point without being able to do what it takes.
Exactly. And when I was watching the video, the biggest thing that was going down, like, around through my mind is how many things that have they done that, like, it's not really evil move. You know what I mean? It's just a business move. But as a security guard or a bodyguard, how you would perceive it as a businessman would perceive it. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking like a lot of the stuff he was saying in that video, I was just like, well, that's not really an evil move. You know, that's just a business move. They had to do that to get, you know what I mean? Whatever.
I think it's different at that level too because employees are numbers; they're not faces.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have to personally go tell you you're fired. He doesn't know you, your wife, or your kids. You know what I mean? You're just a number. Like Google, you know, we're seeing it right now that the tech what?
He said, Buddy Jetta says, Morgan, you got to practice tonight so Looney can go to a baseball game tonight. You got to handle practice. Looney's got something to do.
Looney better be a. You know what? I talked about this earlier. We're in basketball season. I put out, hey, we're going to practice Monday. Last one of the year. All right, day before the championships. Oh, we got baseball. We got baseball. We got baseball. Like I thought we were playing basketball.
They said they trying.
Like but baseball precedes this. How about let's just not play in the championship games then, since nobody wants to practice.
That's it.
We've had multiple times we were going to practice, and we really can't because everybody's doing baseball.
Talking about practice.
Hey, it's Deep East Texas, baby.
Hey, trust me, these kids need to practice.
Deep East Texas, man. It's baseball season. There's no such thing as basketball.
Well, I'm just saying, don't sign. If baseball is going to come first, just don't sign your kids up for basketball.
I agree.
Ain't that big of a deal?
Hey, Chris said he gonna be there. Period. It's basketball season. That's what he said. He gonna be there. Hey, shout out to Chris, man. Skip that baseball game. Come to basketball practice, man.
Yeah, buddy Sheldon, you wait till basketball. You wait till baseball. Wait your turn.
The Bucks might be in trouble if you don't show up.
We did lose Friday.
With no Looney?
No,
Chris?
he played a little bit.
Was Chris there?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Chris, what's up? What I hearing about y'all losing games, man? This is tragic. Hey, but he did say baseball for sure comes first.
Well, it can come first on Wednesday.
The refs aren't human, is what Josh Stinson said. No, they're aliens. Is that where we're going?
Man, I was trying to.
Is that where we're going?
Oh, Chris said bad. Chris said bad coaching. Oh man, I was trying to get some shots up for some players. Let them get some buckets for the year, and I knew when we went in there, it didn't matter if we won or lost. We were still going to be the 1 seed.
Josh Stinson said the refs had him ready to box. Is Josh Stinson on your team too?
His son, Josh, always trying to fight somebody. He's always mad about something. Hey, his son's out here bigger than everybody. When his son puts his hands up, his elbows are face height with everybody else.
Hey,
so he elbows like 3 or 4 kids a game. Hey, and his son will. Hey, I watched Knox push a kid in the back, and then the ref blows a whistle, and he looks over like, "What?"
Hey, who scored 22 on y'all's team Friday night?
22 on our team Friday?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody scored 22.
Maybe not.
I think we only had 29 points or something.
Hey, look, I saw a kid on Facebook. I don't know who it was. I don't know how I was friends with their parents or whatever. They had on a Bucks uniform. Could have been a different Bucks maybe. But it said 22 points tonight. I don't remember.
Now, there's a player for the Bulls. Not the Bulls. I don't know what team he plays for. But he plays AAU basketball. And he is so far away from everybody else in skill. It's just unreal. Like, all you want to do, you just want him to pass the ball. You can have 5. You can put 5 people on him and leave everybody else open, and that would be better. But evidently Knox did have 22.
There it is, 22.
I don't really keep up with stats, but he gets a lot of buckets. But he misses a lot of buckets too, and I give him a hard time too. I called a timeout one game. He missed like a wide open layup twice in a row or something. So I call a timeout and I get everybody over there and I make everybody come in the huddle, and they all look up to him, so I make fun of him a lot. Not for them looking up to him, just because I like to give him a hard time. You know, I make fun of people a lot. Yeah. So we get in there real tight, and I was like, all right, we're all just going to take a minute, and we're just going to look at Knox and wonder how he missed 2 wide open layups in a row. Everybody just died laughing. But anyway, it was about third quarter. I decided I didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
I was okay with losing until I realized we were going to lose. And then I was like, no, we can't lose. And we still lost. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It doesn't matter.
All right, guys. I'm going to got one question before we end out of here, all right?
I mean.
Top restaurant for lunch today. Who's good? Who y'all got? Where's everybody going for lunch?
I have, my lunch spot is Ironwood. The ahi tuna salad, I love it. I've recently found out they have a bigger portion of ahi tuna we can get 2 sides with. We'll see how that works out. I don't think I'm eating Ironwood today. Let me think. Y'all go ahead. Let me think what I'm going to eat today.
Brandon, my favorite person to know what they're eting for lunch.
Brandon's eating a
what are you
Marie.
having for- what are
He's
you
eating a
having for
Marie
lunch
calendar.
Frozen meal in the freezer.
Yeah, I told y'all.
Cam, what you got? What you got on your mind today, man?
What you think about?
I forgot y'all are lover boys. Y'all have to eat together.
I don't know
every
what
day.
that means, but
I'm sorry, John Kelly defriended you.
Cam, he was calling you thick the other night.
that's never happened. But
It's been
for
said
lunch
before.
today, man, I think I'm gonna get a little lost today.
I was just thinking, I think I'm gonna do
know.
Lost. I'm gonna give me a couple of tamales.
Okay.
Hey, Lost fired up. We coming.
All right, Lost Pizza, get the grills ready. When we set it down here, we coming that way, Dodie. I think we kind of just picked for the group, but
I'm not really hungry. I might just get some high C punch. I'm not gonna lie.
Some high C punch.
High C, bro. Dodie, sometimes you're cross generational. I know we was talking about the cross generational players the other day.
Oh.
What you got?
Word on the street is
Feeling a little young.
Doty was seen in Denton, Texas last weekend. Not this last weekend. Weekend before.
That is cap.
Is that
That's
word
what
on the
word
street?
on the street is.
That is cap.
You were out of town in Denton.
That is cap.
Or maybe the weekend before that.
That's cap.
When was the last time you been to Denton? Don't lie.
How many years ago was
No.
that?
It ain't years ago.
My boy Donovan said
I can tell you the exact time. Actually, it was 5th grade. We went.
Oh,
See, nah, he's lying.
No, we. it
He's
was
lying.
fifth
I
grade.
really did hear
It
that.
was do you remember that show, Fast and Loud, in Dallas?
I thought you were about to
Texas?
say Walker, Texas Ranger.
No. Fast and Loud. Do you know that show?
Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah.
With Gas Monkey Garage in Dallas, Texas. My uncle Joey, he got a
Tyson.
Shout out Uncle
1968
Joey.
Matador, and we went and took it down to Dallas to get it to the upholster that they had always took it to, Miss Sue. And
How do you remember this
Shout
stuff?
out Miss Sue.
and so he got the upholstery done there, and we stayed at a hotel in Denton that weekend. So yeah.
So you
There
were
you go.
nowhere of the vicinity of the Dallas-Fort Worth area
When?
within the last 3 weeks.
In the last 3 weeks? No. The last time I went to Dallas was for a Longview playoff game.
Dodie said he don't leave unless it's work, baby.
I have it on credible information.
Credible information. Listen, Donovan Brown told me.
Then the next time that I am going to Dallas is February 17th.
Who you got a date with?
Nobody. I got a date with Globe Life Field to watch college baseball games all weekend.
Turn it up one time for the one time, Dodie.
I'm watching.
Do you want to cover that for game day? Because I think I actually have a media pass for that, but obviously I'm out of town.
If I can get media passes, heck yeah.
But are you
dude.
going to take them photos from Saturday, or are you going to take some?
I took good pictures, and it's also indoors, so we don't have to worry about nighttime. Anyway, but it's an all day thing. It's from 11 a.m. to like 5 p.m. There's three games every single day. There's Arkansas, Texas, TCU, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Oklahoma State. Should be a fun weekend.
Damn,
I'm
we'll
looking
be
forward
out there
to it.
that weekend. Huh?
I'm looking
What you say
forward
it
to it.
was?
February 17th.
Hey, your
That's
wife sure does
Saturday.
let you do a lot. but
17th,
won't-
18th, and 19th.
won't let
It's
you
a
go to
Friday,
Montana.
Saturday, Sunday.
Well, I can go to Dallas and back in roughly 7.5 hours. So
6 if the highway going out.
that's pretty easy.
And I don't have to stay at a hotel. I can stay at my uncle's house in Arlington, right across the street. So, shoot. I'm
Shout
chilling.
out. Hey, me and Cam, I believe we'll be in the city that weekend, man. We might
Thanks
have
for
to
letting us
grab,
know that now.
we might
It
have
was
to
my
grab
it was
some
my
dinner.
birthday present.
We might have to grab some dinner. We have to grab some dinner with Dodie in Dallas, man.
When was your birthday?
January 4th.
Oh, how old are you?
Whoa.
I'm 20.
Did we know Dodie's birthday?
I knew that.
Y'all took me to Fuji for my birthday.
Oh, okay. Shout out y'all.
20s.
Hey, be easy with the y'all.
Shout out y'all.
I pay for y'all's lunch all the time. Y'all want to act
Oh,
like
yeah,
because
it
I don't
was-
do it on a certain day.
It was y'all too.
You know.
Tyson Jimerson, what's up, buddy? Tyson, he's a big Gilmer fan, but lives in North City.
Hey, we was what did we just drive through Ore City? Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
drive through Ore City. Yeah, we just went and did the little
For Longview.
commercial down
Is
there.
Ore City where the dude got the Mexican restaurant with the blue light that flashes at night?
That's New Diana, and they're
Shout
trying to
out
make
New
you slow
Diana.
down when you come in the
They
city.
are trying to make so that. Shout out New Diana for the new press box.
Mm-hmm.
New Diana has a press box.
New softball press box.
And why would you know that?
Because I'm out
We
here.
heard
Hey,
about
I
it
do
all
my
weekend.
job, baby. That's why I do my job. Come
Shout
on.
out to was it Kids with the Captain?
Yeah.
Captain Kids.
Yeah.
What?
Shout out to Cadillac GMC Longview.
Yeah. We do our jobs, you know. It's tough around
Out here
here.
shooting
sometimes.
commercials.
He said, boy, I don't live in Ore City.
Yeah, no. Tyson be trying to lie there, but he lives on a half acre in Ore City with some nice grass. He gets out there and mows on Sundays. Rakes up his
What's
leaves.
DG's? That sounds like food. He said, go to DG's while you're out there. What's DG's?
Dollar General.
Can't be Dollar General. I'm always down to try a new food spot now.
Hey, Tyson's every one of Tyson's kids, and I like to give Tyson a hard time, but I'll give him a thing. Dude's raising some good kids. Every one of his kids has done really well in sports. His daughter right now is playing basketball for Gilmer. She's a point guard, can ball. Also does really well at track. It'll be fun to see kind of where she goes. But I like to give Tyson a hard time, but I'll give him his flowers here. He did have 41 points in the JV game, but all they did was put Tyson Jimerson 41 points and nothing else. So it kind of lets you know that he might have been playing against some 7th and 8th graders out there at Ore City.
Yeah. And he just laughed.
But
at
he's
my
been
question,
living his
what
entire
is-
life on those 41 points. You can't tell Tyson nothing because he scored 41 points one time
Well, Tyson, how can we get you on the
Against-
show to tell this 44-point story?
against some 7th grade country kids who've never seen a basketball go before.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I shouldn't say that. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, Tyson. Do your thing, baby. Do your thing. Y'all got to do the other
You
sports.
know, one thing Tyson don't talk about is how good they were at football.
Were they good? Or they were terrible?
If they were good, he would talk about them.
Kind of sounds.
The reason
like
he don't mess with them.
Hey, everybody,
'cause of
everybody couldn't go to a great powerhouse high school football like I did. But you know, it's okay.
Hey, I just had a random reminder pop up on my phone. On the 18th, we got our first track meet.
Uh-oh.
Paul Wall's relay.
Oh my god!
Oh my God.
Or maybe it's not the Paul Wall. It says Tigers track meet.
It is not.
That's
That is the
definitely-
Waddy Myers track.
Dang, I'm going to be out of town.
Isn't that Waddy Myers that y'all host
I will
over
also
here?
be out of town.
Doty?
Yes, it's Waddy Myers.
Yeah, Waddy Myers over there. Then we got the Paul Parr relays coming up too.
Paul
over
Parr.
at Liberty Island.
Who's Paul Parr?
I guess the track guy at Liberty Island.
Apparently, a good guy from Liberty Outlook, not Paul Wall.
Not from Houston,
I
Texas.
don't know why. I say that all the time.
Not from
Every single
Houston.
time.
I don't know where I thought it was called the Paul Wall relays.
Hey, is Waddy Myers going to be the same weekend as the border battle like last year?
No, Border Battle is the first weekend of March.
Hey, big times coming up around.
I am
here.
looking forward to the Border Battle. Got
Border battle's going to be legit.
Got Longview, Texas High, Ashdown, Liberty Allo, and then Camden Fairview, I believe.
Arkansas High not going to play in it?
Nope.
They just do not want to play Texas High in anything, do they?
Nope.
Doty says that with so much pride. But hey, Arkansas High's going to have a legit team this year.
You know how
I
much
think.
easier it would be to cover sports if these teams would play each other?
I know it would be.
It would be so much easier. And it would be more people in the stands. It would be great atmosphere for everybody. I mean, if Liberty Ilo played let's talk about what would be decent matchups. PGLE, they're obviously same size-ish, but they're in the same division.
What, are we talking about all sports or just?
Let's start with football.
Okay.
LE Arkansas High, I think it's a game. So that means PG Arkansas will be a game.
Mm-hmm.
PG Texas High,
That'd be fun.
I don't really know if Arkansas High is to that with Texas High yet.
But
I mean, they're on the rebound.
We
They're-
have to play Arkansas.
Yeah.
If we're going to play in-town rivals, we
Yeah,
have
you
to
have
play
to.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has to be a game.
That's a 100-year
So
rivalry.
Arkansas High could
Don't get me
realistically play all three teams in Texarkana
I
if they
think
wanted.
everybody can play everybody at this point.
Yeah, I mean there are some years like Texas High has a lot more
Because
students.
LE and Texas
I mean,
play
Like
for
I don't think
Texas
LE,
High-
I don't think LE and Texas High is a game anymore.
They played for
Well,
a couple
we
of years.
played a-
though.
They
played a
did,
long time.
but like now on the next go around, LE may be a 3A school.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you really can't be. What 3A school is going to beat a 5A school? No matter what kind of kids you have coming through there.
Yeah, you better not for real.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So realistically, we got Arkansas High could play any of them if they wanted to. PG could play any of them. Texas High could play any of them, but Liberty Ilo playing Texas High doesn't make sense. PG playing Texas High really doesn't make sense. But it would be fun.
That's what I think. I think for the sake of it,
And then like Hooks, Liberty Ilo, they should play.
I think that would be
That'd be-
really
that'd
fun,
be a-
Yeah.
especially if Ellie is going down to 3A here soon.
They'll be playing anyway.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they go down
But
3, they'll be in the
That
same
will be.
district
I
probably,
think that'll
yeah.
be a very fun game to find down.
Which
Friday
opens
night for
up,
the LA
like-
Hooks.
Why can't Hooks play Arkansas High? You know what I
I
mean?
remember back in the day, this when I was going to PG. I mean, we played. I never played like Redwater, but we played Hooks, New Boston, DeKalb. You know, we played those schools
Yeah.
still, even though they were in the lower classification. We still played all those schools in the preseason and stuff. So I'd like to get back to that. Buddy Shelton said, "We ain't scared. Where's he hooked?"
Like Atlanta
Hooks is
plays
going to be
Liberty
one of
ILO.
the teams that I want to see in the
Atlanta
next few
used to
years.
play PG.
Yeah,
Hooks is
So I
still
mean,
so
like
young.
all this
Atlanta was in
driving,
PG's district.
all this driving all over the state, man. It's just too much.
exactly. And I think it also makes the Friday nights better
Oh, it would be so much better.
because I mean, we see.
Do you know how
PG
much
playing-
trash talk would happen
Exactly.
if let's say Hooks played
Buddy, I don't remember all that. Now you must be going back to 1987 or something. He said Hooks used to whoop PG. I do not remember that, but it could happen.
Hooks is like they have a bunch of sophomores right now, and in the next
You know
couple
what
of years
we
they will
need?
be really.
And there's been talks of this before. We need like we need a kickoff to football season here
Yeah.
in town. We need a game on Thursday, game on Friday,
95 to 99.
game on Saturday at 11, game on Saturday at 3, Texas High, Arkansas High at 7 p.m. So we're getting 5 games in to kick off the weekend. So to start, we would do. Let's think this through. We would do Nashville versus Hooks Thursday night. That would be a pretty marquee matchup.
Yeah.
Liberty ILO Atlanta Friday
Rivalry
night.
game.
Rivalry game. Then we would do, let's think this through here. We could do Maud James Bowie
Yeah.
at an 11 o'clock game on a Saturday. Not like a premier spot, but it's a good football game. Come see small town football.
Yeah.
Kick off the season. And then the 2 o'clock game, we got options. We could do a PG
Ashdown.
Ashdown. It's got to be an Arkansas
Ooh,
school.
That could be a good one.
It's got to be an Arkansas school. But even if PG didn't want to do that, you could do a DeKalb, Prescott.
Ooh.
DeKalb Prescott.
You could do a DeKalb Prescott.
You could do a DeKalb Hope.
Prescott's smaller, so maybe not PG. Probably not PG for them.
No, he's saying DeKalb.
Oh, for DeKalb,
A
yeah,
DeKalb
yeah.
Prescott, and then Texas
that'd
High,
be-
Arkansas High, Saturday night. Do it all at Grimm Stadium.
They don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Do it
Shout
all.
out Cliff
Do it all
Davis.
at Grimm Stadium.
Curly Wolves.
We have
sir.
specific that weekend. We have specific advertisers for that weekend, and I don't know how the gate and the concession stand and all that stuff work for the schools, but it's it would be fun, and I think main thing is there'd be a lot more people there other than just your school,
Yeah.
to watch you play, and it can be promoted as this big deal. That would be Texarkana Game Day kickoff show. Let's go. Texarkana Game Day kickoff show.
I'm down. I think that would be legit. I think it would bring more people out, and like we were just talking about, if the teams in the city and around the city are playing each other, it takes it back to when I was growing up, when everybody was playing each other. You actually knew, because right now anybody can say, "Oh yeah, we're the best." We see it all the time since Game Day's been going on. Oh, hitting us up in the DMs, "Hey, we're the best. We're 8-0. We're 10-0. We know we're 9-0." Well, okay, well, who'd you play around here?
Yeah.
Oh, well, nobody. We played such and such and such and such and such and such. Well, now, if you're sitting here at the end of the season and you've played Arkansas High, Texas High, LE, PG, and you beat them, there is no question who's the best team in the city or who's
Yeah, we have no
whatever.
best team in the city right now.
Exactly.
I mean, it's who we think, but we don't. Nobody's playing anybody, and it's just what it costs to travel now is just wild to me that we can't make some of these games happen. And I understand why we can't make some happen, but it would be better for everybody if we could.
Yeah, for sure. Which obviously, there's logistics to it that we don't have any control over and stuff like that. But if we can put a hand into getting this rocking, man, I think we need to start on that. Doty, what'd you think?
Oh, I mean, I agree completely. I mean,
Buddy Shelton
it's-
says they don't want to play Nashville.
Hooks
It's
don't
just
want to play
our.
Nashville.
uh,
95 to
just-
99, Hooks used to whip up on PG. That's what he said.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I remember I was at Spring Hill. We were ranked number 2 in the state, and Pleasant Grove came to Longview to play us, and we beat them 49-7. We scored 49 points in the first half. Their coach came in the locker room and told in front of us, "If y'all score another point, we're going home." They were terrible. So if you were there in 2001 and played in Longview, y'all got beat bad.
Yeah.
Jamario Thomas went for
gone?
like 400 yards and a half.
What'd you say?
I said now that Sloan's gone. That's a Nashville Hall of Famer right there.
Hey, I can't speak on any of that PG stuff from back in the day. But Buddy Shelton says Hooks will play Nashville any day.
Put them on the schedule then, buddy. Put them on the schedule.
Y'all got anything else y'all want to add to this? Right now, we're gonna end it on the game day kickoff being the biggest project of 2023. Right.
I want to see the game day kickoff happen. I'm gonna get with Glenn Smith on this.
Game day kickoff.
I think it'll be fun.
See if we can. I'm trying to think of what would be some other games that someone might want to see.
I mean, we can. I'm sure we
You
can.
know,
make
like a
one.
mod. Hey, like a mod Fout.
Yeah, there's tons of games, especially at the Arkansas Texas thing. Yeah, yeah, Glenn involved.
We're gonna have Duncanville.
Yeah, Duncanville. Comes
Duncanville's
in,
trying to play Atlanta or something.
There won't be a
Oh! I forgot about this. Word on the street,
season. Word on the street.
which means it's in forums, is that Carthage called Duncanville and tried to schedule a home and home series, and
And what? Basketball?
in football. listen, I'm not done. And they made sure to record the entire thing, so people can't say it wasn't true.
Well,
And
where is
Duncanville
it?
obviously said no.
Where is it?
It's on one of the Texas high school football things.
Duncanville
You're gonna have to go back
obviously
because I saw this a while back, and it's probably not true.
Duncanville
You know
obviously would say no.
there's some dude on the forum. He just makes up random stuff about Carthage, but it wasn't the guy. It wasn't him. Like somebody else put it. Even Buddy Shelton's heard it. He said he heard that the Duncanville said no.
Yeah, they
Like I'm telling
obviously
you,
said no.
yeah, but like if Carthage is calling Duncanville, and like I think they probably know they're going to say no, so it's easy to make that call.
Yeah.
But like, do they really think they're playing on that level?
I think they run into a situation that we had some teams around here run into a couple seasons ago, and just who do you play? But we also got to think about there's a huge gap list of teams between Carthage and Duncanville, so there's somebody else they could have called as well. But just on their level, who can they play? Who wants to put that? Who wants to automatically put that L on?
Well,
their
I
schedule?
know the teams in East Texas hate Carthage, so I'm assuming that means the coaches do also.
I mean, it's
And
just
that's
the
not
L
a
on the
knock on
schedule.
Carthage. I'm not knocking on Carthage.
Yeah.
Like that's just that's the truth. Like nobody wants to play a team in their area that they know can beat them by 60 points. Why would you?
They hate
You
us
know,
'cause they
so
hate us.
and then of course the fans of those teams don't like Carthage. The only people that really love Carthage are Carthage fans.
Yeah.
You know, if you listen to anybody else, they're going to have a reason why Carthage has this great run. You know, and then there's going to be why Carthage fans say they have this great run. Like, but it's just it would be anything. If anybody was winning like this, it would be the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like people, I don't even know where Alito is, but I know people trash it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it comes with the territory. But if they really did call Duncanville, and you know, it looks like they could very well win another 3 state championships in a row. So unless they move back up, I mean, I don't know how they dropped to 4A Division II.
Yeah,
That feels to me like that might have been planned.
that was tough. For everybody
Yeah, I
else
mean,
anyway.
but 4A Division One, that they can probably have some teams compete with them. You know, there's such a big gap between Carthage and everybody else in 4A Division Two right now. I mean, it's just obvious.
It's
you know?
obvious.
Like, can they be beat? Yes. We almost saw Glen Rose beat them. You know, the team PG is going to have coming up, we'll have a chance to beat them. But like, if there was a line on high school football games, I don't know if a person in their right mind preseason is not picking Carthage.
Yeah, you have to pick Carthage, but we also have to look at this Duncanville thing as a huge money grab for both school districts if they were able to somehow set this up. Do you know how many? I mean, the ticket sales would be, you know.
I mean, you can only sell what you can get.
I mean, yeah, but they played
And
at
like
AT&T.
Carthage doesn't have a big stadium.
They played at AT&T.
Well, it was a home and home.
Oh yeah, that's well, I don't know. Pack as many people in there as you can, standing room. I mean, it's going to be a huge game. It'll be the biggest.
Let's
game
just
in the
imagine. Let's just imagine. What if Carthage won?
state. It'd be huge.
I mean, would it, or would it just be a breakdown in everything we think we know about high school football?
I don't think it'd be a breakdown in anything we know. I think it'd be another notch in Coach Surratt's belt. I think it'd be huge for the Carthage School District. I think both schools will benefit from it money-wise at the gate. I think, I just think it'd be good all the way around. I don't know if it actually puts a bad knock on Duncanville if they lose necessarily, since they're not really in the same place.
Well, I mean, they're playing the largest football in Texas, nationally ranked every year. A team with, dude, they might have a third, maybe a fourth of the students Duncanville. Can you pull up real quick what Duncanville's enrollee is? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, for instance, Allen has what, like 5,600, 6,000 students. So Carthage in high school can't have more than 800 to be in 4A Division II or something. So let's see what this number is.
That's going to be crazy. Hey, Chris Looney says, so are they really making a movie over Surratt? Yes, they are, and I play the running back in the film, too, so get ready to watch that. It's lit.
4,468.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
How many? 4,000 and what?
468.
So, yes, that would be a big deal.
Yeah, it'd be a huge deal. It'd be a huge deal. I just don't know what – like
Carthage is 800. Oh, wait.
We have two teams in the – I just say you have two teams in the same city that are this far apart.
Carthage is about 800.
When they play each other and one loses, it looks bad because they're in the same place, and you're going to have to hear the slander and all this. If Carthage beats Duncanville, I mean, Carthage talks about it forever. Duncanville gets over it the next week and goes and plays their season. You know what I mean? I don't – it's the same way if they win. If Duncanville wins, they get over it, they move on with their season. Carthage talks about it for the rest of the year. I mean, I think that there's no upside to this for Duncanville.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. For some reason, whenever it just hits my mind, it doesn't seem like crazy to me to think Carthage could keep it an interesting game just because Carthage is Carthage.
I mean, if they have a decent run game, which we know they do, they can milk some time off there. I doubt they're going to throw the ball 50 times because, that's how you get blown out.
It's going to come down to the trench work because there's no – speed is speed. I don't care if you're playing at 5A, if you're playing at 1A. If you run a 4.4, you run a 4.4 at a 1A school as you do at a 6A school. You know, so I think skill position-wise, they have those same caliber athletes. But what's going to happen in the trenches? Because we see guys from Duncanville signing with A&M, Texas, Bama, out of the O-line, D-line. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't really see that from Carthage. So that's where I think you have your biggest mismatch. Other than that, I mean, it's going to be a great game. Carthage's quarterback.
What's a game that can be played that Carthage that we would like to see, but like a legitimate game that can be played? They already play Marshall.
I mean, they can play Longview. That'd be a good
They can play Longview.
That'd be a great game.
They could play the Tyler schools. They could play.
I feel like they would blow the Tyler schools out of the water, though.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Tyler right now, man. Both Tyler ISD schools are just bad.
They're down a little.
But they're like sending players to Alabama and stuff. So like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's just putting it together as a team.
Yeah. That's really about it. I mean PG and Gilmer, it would be great if they would just go ahead and play each other during the year. I understand why they're not, because your best chance to beat a team is just to play them one time. And don't give them too much, but that would be fun.
PG Carthage.
Yeah. PG Carthage Gilmer. I think it'd be ideal for a fun football night.
Yeah, we're gonna have it's gonna be some great football coming up here. What we got, basketball wise, on the schedule this week?
I believe we're looking at LE versus Paris tomorrow night. That's going to be a big game for the 2 seed in that district.
Or got the Bucks playing for the ship. got the Texarkana Bucks.
Is that tomorrow night too?
Playing the PGYA for the ship. Yeah, we play at 5:30. If we win, play at 7:30.
Got the Bucks playing for the ship tomorrow in PG.
And if we lose, I'm gonna blame it on Looney.
You got LE playing Paris for that 2 spot in the district. That's gonna be a big game. We haven't seen Paris yet this year. We've seen LA a couple of times. We've seen LE play the number 1 seed in the district as well. I think it's gonna be a very, very fast-paced game. If Paris is playing anything like they did last year, I know they lost some senior talent, but if they're playing any way of the pace they played last year, it's gonna be a fast game.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right now.
Brandon. We checked them out.
It was a 13-point loss in the last game, but from what I heard from Brewer the last time that they were there, they're looking to take this one personal. They have something personal up against Paris Tuesday night, and it means a lot to Coach Brewer and to this team to get a good win for them, get a good win for them, and get them going come playoff time.
Yeah, Coach Brewer has a personal vendetta against Paris ever since going back to whenever I played for them at PG. We were undefeated, 22-0, and they came to our house and beat us by 1. And ever since then, it was always.
Brewer used to be at Pleasant Grove?
Huh?
Brewer was at Pleasant Grove?
Yep. Brewer
I
was
didn't
at
know
Pleasant
that.
Grove. He was at Pleasant Grove from 2012.
I see him every now and then at our boys basketball game.
Mm-hmm. He's got some grandkids that are coming up in the
Okay.
PG system right now a little bit too. Yeah.
Used to be at LE too.
Yep, Coach
Col-
Coffins was at LE.
Really?
Yep. When I was in school, Coffins was at LE and Brewer was at PG.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's got some history with Paris. He's been playing against Paris for a long time. So is Coach Coffins over at PG.
You ever drove through Paris?
Mm-hmm.
How do they have 3 high schools?
It's crazy. They have 3 high schools there.
Hey, shout out Weezy's.
And a college. And
I do have a college.
And a college.
Shout out Weezy's in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a lot of trips out to Paris last baseball season. They hosted a lot of those LE playoff games there at the end.
Why do we not have a big baseball facility here in Texarkana?
We
That's
just
what-
did.
No, with the turf field
I'm saying we just did. Hooks High School.
in Texarkana.
I'm surprised that they haven't.
Like at Spring Lake Park.
Like A&M has it now, but that used to be the big event in
Like,
baseball.
why don't they just take something like that, turf it, and where you can hold events and stuff out there, like have big baseball tournaments.
I don't know.
I'm not saying they can't because in the summer it doesn't really rain,
Yeah.
but like
I think
you experienced it in Arizona. I experienced it in Florida when I went with Sticks. Why do we not have something like that here? I mean, we're right.
You think
Well, we have
would?
2. We're going to have 3 interstates coming through Texarkana in the next few years.
You
The
think
Arkansas
we would?
teams, Oklahoma teams, Louisiana teams. It's a spot in between Little Rock, Dallas. We have the hotel rooms. Why can't they make that work?
I don't know. I think you think out of Spring Lake Park, Ed Worrell over on the Arkansas side, all these different parks that have these baseball facilities at them already. You think Texarkana would have already done that? You think they've already made a spot?
I don't know.
Dobson is
It's
their-
either there's something better in between. Because, like, I like Spring Lake Park. Like,
Yeah.
I like the setup. I don't know. I guess I'm saying it wrong by necessarily saying, it's because they have a turf field, because it's probably not. But there's got to be. I don't know a whole lot about baseball, so I probably don't.
Dobson would be.
But like,
key.
I know all these kids leave every weekend to go somewhere, but they never have a game in Texarkana.
Yeah. And I just think it's just not a baseball destination here. I mean, think about the places. Jupiter is baseball heaven. Spring training's there. For multiple MLB places. Out in Arizona, where I was, spring training's there for multiple MLB organizations. Also, Arizona State's there. You know what I mean? So, like, baseball is huge in these places where they're traveling around the country to play. And I just think when you come here, you're back in football country. You know what I mean? So you're not going to have a great baseball park on every corner. You know what I mean? Down in the Metroplex area, you have it. But I think if they took Dobson, turfed it, put up some more bleachers out there,
More parking.
you've got a nice. You can have a really, really nice facility right there off the interstate.
Which one is Dobson?
That's where A&M plays out of Spring Lake Park. I think you can have a really nice facility there right off the interstate where people can see it. You got street value. I mean, I just think it could be the place.
Let's talk about Texas A&M Texarkana for a minute since we're on it. Let's talk about this basketball team.
Okay, yeah, basketball team got a few new players, or a couple of new players, and a few players that we've seen a few years now at A&M, and they're just balling, taking care of business. They've got a lot of community support right now. I haven't gotten a chance to get out, but I mean, I get updates, just random people texting me saying, "Hey, look, this is what's going on at A&M. Hey, they won this game. Hey, they've got this guy playing." And then I also know a couple of them from last year too. So
Texas A&M men's basketball is ranked top 25 in the country. They're 19-5. What Coach Wall and athletic director Galvan's been able to do is it's been tremendous there. I remember we were there the very first night they ever had a basketball game. We streamed it and had a basketball game at home. And I was impressed with the quality of play because being a startup, you really don't know what you're getting into. Fast forward 4 years now, I think. I mean, I really believe Coach Wall is a Division I coach.
Yeah.
And what he's been able to do and what the entire faculty's been able to do in that athletic department with sports at Texas A&M has been amazing. You look at pictures now, and, like, the place is packed. It's rocking. It's fun. I had both my kids Saturday. We were driving by A&M. I can't remember where we were coming from, and there were people parked almost all the way out to the road. And it's just like my kids were like, "Oh, what's going on there?" And at first, I was like, "They must have a soccer game." And then I got home and looked. No, there's a basketball game going on right there. I almost got in the golf cart and went down there. Yeah, like, hey, let's go see let's go watch this game. But it's hard to do anything with a toddler. So, but it's fun basketball. It's good basketball. They have some really notable players on there. Have some local players as well. Shout out Texas A&M. We love what y'all are doing.
Most definitely, man. I think it's only going up from here for the Eagles. Like you said, some notable players on the team. The series, Last Chance Here, the Netflix series, they've got 2 guys that were on that last series or last season of that show. And I think that brought a lot more people out to the games. And however you have to get the people, get them. And those guys are also good ballers, and their record shows that. But that's what I always thought that A&M was missing. That's all they were missing as far as athletic wise was the fan support, and they have that now.
Yeah, and not to leave the girls out, the girls are 21-1 on the season. They have an 18-game winning streak. So, like, both teams are playing really great ball. We have great basketball here in Texarkana, and get out and watch A&M.
For sure. I think that's going to do it for today, y'all. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure y'all share this. Get it out there. Let everybody know what time the drop is coming on Facebook and YouTube. We will see y'all Wednesday. I'm Nick Reed. That's Morgan Smith. Got my man Zach Doty, Brandon Lewis, and Cam Sullivan on the ones and twos. So this is The Drop.